What is going on, Mavs fans? Welcome into this live episode of All Things Mavs. Just chilling on a Saturday night. Figured I might as well go live and we can do a little hoop grids action. We can dive into some jump shot guesser, which is like a new game that people just put me on that I'm actually really excited to try out. And then we're going to talk about Dennis Smith Jr. signing with the Dallas Mavericks, returning to Dallas after being drafted here in 2017. And then we're going to talk about Anthony Davis's eye injury and the update there because Mark Stein put out a new update tonight, and I'm actually excited to talk about it a little bit because now we have a clearer understanding of where Anthony Davis is at in his rehab. And so just to get it going, before we get started, look, I really, honestly, the main thing I wanted to do, I was looking at HoopGrids, and I could have done today's. I'll show you what today's HoopGrids was for all of y'all tuning in. This is today's HoopGrids, and maybe we get there, maybe we don't. If people start tapping in enough and giving me some comments and some suggestions where to fill this in. But yesterday's hoop grid, this one was made for me, man. This one was made for us Mavs fans. Look at that. It's all Dallas Mavericks. All we have to do is guess Dallas Mavericks. And so I've got two names right off the bat that I want to fill in because I want to go like the least guessed names possible. But if people start hitting me up in the chat, start telling me who I should put in here. But I'm going to start it off. My immediate anytime I see a Dallas Maverick in there, and if it's like just one game or something like that, my immediate guy is almost always Jamarion, Stony Brook legend. Nobody's ever guessing him in hoop grids. I remember him like, look at that, 0.0. I mean, are we going to top that? How can you top 0.08% guessed? Jamil Warney, that is, I mean, come on. That's ball knowledge right there is what that is. All right, let's think of another one. The other guy, the second guy I wanted to go with here, maybe not as like, I think more people will start to guess him. Stuart, appreciate you tapping in. Frank, appreciate you guys tuning in. See you guys typing in the chat. Give me some names here that I should start putting in the hoop grids. My second name that I'm going with is Jared Utoff. Those of you that know, you know, an Iowa legend. Oh, wow. Nobody has guessed Jared Utoff. I'm the first one. Guys, do I quit now? Well, I got to keep going. I got to keep going with more names. Jared Utoff and Jamil Warney. I mean, those are some excellent pulls on my part. I'll go ahead and tap myself on the back for that one. Toot my own horn a little bit. Jared Utoff, Jamil Warney. Can anybody else get a unicorn? Because I think I can't think of anybody else that would be a unicorn for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to go old school. Maybe we change this one. This one's probably not that like unknown, but Samaki Walker. I don't even know how you say his name actually. This one feels, I don't know. Do people like, is this known? Do I pick Samaki Walker? Do I pick him? Is it too well known? Let's try it. Another year. Oh my gosh, dude. 2 unicorns. I'm on fire, dude. I am on fire right now. All right, let's think of another one. Should I do Bernard James? Is Bernard James too well known? Former second round pick, the Sarge. I mean, that dude is he feels too well known, but I'm going to put him in here. Bernard James, he was actually, I think, in the same draft as Jay Crowder, and I know Jared Cunningham. Let's try Bernard James. Okay, we got another dark purple. We'll take it. It's not a unicorn. It's still pretty good. Okay, I'm getting no suggestions from the chat. You guys are not helping me out at all. I need some unknown Mavericks. Some players that nobody would ever put in here. Is Eddie Curry or Jeff Withey? Are those too well known? Josh McRoberts, that's another one. That's a pretty deep cut. Who else? By the way, this is free advertising, I guess, for Ben and Jerry's. So congrats to Ben and Jerry's. All 5 of my viewers, you guys get free advertising. I'm going to go. I guess I'll go with Jeff Withey. Let's see where Withey comes in. I feel like that's got to be a pretty. Okay, another dark purple. Okay, Stuart says George McLeod. I feel like George McLeod is a little too well known. If he's not a dark purple, I'm gonna back him out. But I feel like George McLeod is too well known because he made a lot of threes. Like he was a shooter. Let's try it. Okay, 0.1%. I mean, it's the same as Bernard James, but for some reason Bernard James is a dark purple. McLeod's I don't know what color you call that, light blue. Tony Dumas. All right, let's try it. I'll try it. Okay, Stuart's on a roll. Stuart's hot. All right. I'm going to go with another one. Kalena Azabuki. I was all in on Azubuike when he was a Maverick. I thought he was going to be a player. I thought he was going to actually be able to contribute to a team. Little did I know, I was way too hyped with him. God, is Azubuike or Wes Iwundu less known? I feel like Wes Iwundu is like too recent, probably a little too well known, if we're being honest. So I'm going Azubuike. God, I'm on fire. Guys, 3 unicorns in 1 grid. Okay, I don't want to use this last grid yet. I want to get some better names out there. I don't want to cheat. I'm not going to cheat. Who is another guy that could be a unicorn? I might have to replace this George McLeod. I mean, I'll keep the Tony Dumas, but I want the dark purples in there. George McLeod, I feel like I could come up with somebody better than that. Is Pierre Jackson? How well known is Pierre Jackson in terms of generic ball knowledge? Let's try it. I hope this doesn't take up my last cloud or my last square. It's the same. Okay. I can do better than that. Give me one more. I need another one. Chat, help me out. I need you guys to hit me up in the chat. Stuart's the only one helping me right now. I need somebody else. Oh, I got one. George King. Played for the COVID Mavs. Oh, come on. Guys, I don't even need your help. I don't even need your help, chat. I got this. I got this on lock. All right. Let's think. Anything else? Anything else? Don't want to change out any of these. Stuart said Den. Who are you talking about? Who's Den? Did Mo Indoor play? Let's try here. I don't think he ever played a regular season game. I think he was only on the Knicks, but let's try it. Yeah, I thought so. Darn. Okay. All right. One more player. Well, I want to get these. God, if I could get these all to unicorns. Dennis Scott. Okay. That's a good pull. Let's trade out Dumas for Dennis Scott. Oh, but that just gave me another name actually off the top of my head. Scott was a good pull. All right, Bernard James. Let's change him to Dennis Nutt. Oh, what? All right, going back to Bernard James. How did 0.13 people get Dennis Nutt? All right. Jeremy Evans. Is that a good pull? Let's try it. All right, that's pretty good. All right, we're going to put Bernard James here because he was my original guess. I'm not going to cheat the system. Pretty happy with that grid. I feel like I had to have done better than like at least 90% of people that have done this. 91.2%, 91.92%. All right, that's pretty good. I'll take that. All right, we won't do another hoop grid. Let's go to this new game that I've been playing. And this is, you're supposed to guess the jump shot. So you guys see the jump shot right here. And then we have to guess who the player is shooting that jump shot. Stocky build, kind of. I can't really tell. This might be a bad guess. Karl-Anthony Towns, he kind of shoots that set shot. Let's try Karl-Anthony Towns. Okay. He's in the East, and it is a center power forward. Oh, who is that? I know who it is. It's not Jonas Valanciunas. He's not in the East. Who else is in the East that's a center power forward that can shoot a jumper? God, what? Is that Vucevic? Let's try Vucevic. Oh, my. Oh, second guess. Second guess. Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, I just dominate that. I got to share that right now on Twitter. That's insane. Can anybody else do that? That was unbelievable that I just did that. I'm very proud of myself. I thought that was going to take me a lot longer and eat up a lot more time on this, but it didn't. So I'm putting this here. All right, we're going back to hoop grids after this. All right, let's do another hoop grids. Let's do today's. Miami Heat player that scored 40-plus points in a game in a regular season. Obviously, you have the obvious answers like a Dwayne Wade. What about Gary Payton? That doesn't feel very obvious. That's a gold. I'll take it. 50-plus blocks in a season and a 40-plus point game in the regular season. Obviously, you got the Wimbies. You got the Shaqs. Who else? How about Dwight Howard's so obvious. What about, did Gortat ever have a 40 ball? Surely not. Surely Gortat was never that good. Am I tripping? Let's try it. Nah. All right. What about Nene? No. What about Nerlens? No. All right. All right. Come back. All right. 40-plus point game in the regular season. Played for the Lakers. You can come up with 100 names in this. I mean, I could do Luka. Luka would be an easy one. I'm not going to do it, though. What about – did Corey Brewer ever play for the Lakers? Yeah, he did. Baller. All right. 76ers and the Lakers. Who's some like Jahlil Okafor? Did he play for the Lakers? Feels like he did. Feels like a Laker player. 76ers and the Lakers. Help me out, chat. Who has played for the 76ers and the Lakers? I'll come back. Will Chamberlain, I'm not putting him in there. 40-plus point game. Let's see. Sixers and the Miami Heat. Who is an obvious one that I'm missing? Kyle Lowry? That's an obvious one. But it's all I can think of right now. Miami Heat, all defense. There's only 20 players. All right, I'm guessing Gary Payton again. No, I can't use him twice. Okay, that stinks. Laker or Heat, all defensive team. Dude, I don't know. Obviously, Shaq. I don't want to do Shaq, but lame. All right, I'm going to keep it, though. 50-plus blocks in a season, all defensive team. I don't know, dude. I'm trying to speed through this. I'm going to start talking about some actual Mavs stuff. Lakers, all defense. Who else? Who am I thinking of? All right, screw it. I'm going easy. It's a layup. 76ers and the Lakers. I still can't think of anybody that played for the 76ers and the Lakers. I guess I'm going Will. My ball knowledge is not shining right now. 40-plus point game regular season, 50-plus blocks in a season. I know there's like obvious answers. The Dwight Howards, LeBrons, Shaq. What about Anton Jameson? Random, but let's see if it works. No. What about Zydrunas Ilgauskas? No, my lord. Andrew Bynum. There's one. There we go. All right, 76ers, 50 blocks in the season. I could also go to 76ers there. What about Nerlens? Let's pull in the Nerlens on this one. Nice. That was terrible, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. It is what it is. My chat over here not helping me out a whole lot, just to be honest with you guys. But let's talk through the latest Mavs scoop, because a lot of things have come out lately. There's been a lot that was reported with Dennis Smith Jr., with Anthony Davis. I mean, somebody actually say something about this? Nope. When we look back at the Dennis Smith Jr. signing, kind of out of nowhere, like we knew a while ago that Dennis Smith Jr. worked out for the Mavs. By the way, shout out to Fadeaway Seth, aka NBA World, tapping in. Appreciate you. We knew a while ago that Dennis Smith Jr. did try out for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit. I was the first one to report this. I found out that DSJ was going to be in Dallas. He was part of a group workout, kind of a free agent mini camp back in June. And then there was literal radio silence for like, what are we in? September. So July, August, September, almost 3 months, actually over 3 months at that point. And then kind of out of nowhere, Shams tweets out, Dennis Smith Jr. has agreed to a 1-year deal, but we know that it's going to have to be a training camp deal. And we know that he's going to have to beat some players out to make the team, right? We already know that Brandon Williams is on a non-guaranteed contract. We know that Dante Exum got a 1-year deal, but we haven't really heard the details on that deal yet. Like, is it partially guaranteed? Is it fully guaranteed? They cut Omax Prosper just to sign Dante Exum, so it feels like it's probably a fully guaranteed deal. But what does Dennis Smith Jr. have to do to earn that deal over a Brandon Williams or a Dante Exum or even a Jaden Hardy? Now, the Jaden Hardy thing is interesting because, honestly, if you're just asking me right now, I would rather have Shams in the chat. Yeah, right. I would rather have Dennis Smith Jr. on this team than Jaden Hardy because Dennis Smith Jr. is only 27 years old. He is a better defender. And I just think you're getting a little bit more. I don't know. You're at least bringing the fans back in with Dennis Smith Jr. And at this point, there's nothing that Jaden Hardy is going to show us that we know what Jaden Hardy is at this point. Okay. We know he's a bad defender. We know he plays low IQ basketball. We know that he's a good shooter. Like, we have seen that. And I still believe that he's a good shooter, but he's not a good passer. And he's really the size of a point guard. Dennis Smith Jr. could be a good passer. If you're just asking me right now, before I see how they play in preseason, I'd rather have Dennis Smith Jr. than Jaden Hardy, in all honesty. The problem is Jaden Hardy's contract is not super easy to just dump. So let's go to Spotrac and let's figure out exactly what Jaden Hardy's making, because I know he signed the extension and we probably have to I know we have to factor that in and figure out exactly what Jaden Hardy's going to be making. So Jaden Hardy, he got his extension. It is at $6 million a year over the next 3 years. When it happened, I was happy about it. But unfortunately, he's not going to live up to that contract. We're just at this point where we know the Jaden Hardy experiment. And I would rather see Dennis Smith Jr. get a shot. Now, if Dennis Smith Jr. comes into preseason and looks like he completely forgot how to play basketball, then yeah, obviously you just keep Jaden Hardy and you cut Dennis Smith Jr. There's nothing to do. I don't think the Mavs are going to cut Jaden Hardy. If they decide that they want Dennis Smith Jr. over Jaden Hardy, it's going to have to be trading Hardy away, because it's just too much money on the books, and they're going to have to stretch and waive him over a long time. The money on the books for Jaden Hardy is going to be dead money for Jaden Hardy over the next, I don't even know how it would work, but the next 5 years, Jaden Hardy's money is going to be on the cap, and he's not going to be on your team. And that's a problem. So a lot of people are like, just dump Hardy. Let's just get rid of Hardy. I get it. I know that's what everybody wants, but it's not. It's a lot easier said than done. So your real options are Dante Exum or Brandon Williams. And at this point, I think it'd be a little crazy if the Mavs just cut Brandon Williams over Dennis Smith Jr. because Brandon Williams had 15 incredible games at the end of last year. In March, he was just absolutely incredible. He showed you stuff that I never thought he would be able to do. He could break down the defense in ways he breaks down the defense in ways that the current healthy point guards cannot do. Dante Exum can't do it. D'Angelo Russell can't do it. Now, there are things that D'Lo does better than Brandon Williams, obviously, but there's some things like attacking the basket and the moves and the speed that he plays with that Brandon Williams does better than D'Angelo Russell. And so while his contract would be easy to cut, I think Brandon Williams gives you more than what Dennis Smith Jr. is going to give you next year. B-Dub is only 2 years younger. He's not that much younger. We kind of know what he is at this point. But DSJ in his last few years in the league, he was not a good shooter. I mean, we can look at his basketball reference right now. 29%, 21%, 22%. He shot 35% with the Detroit Pistons, only 2.7 attempts per game, and only 20 games. This doesn't really count. 33%, 30%, 29%, 34%, 32%, 31%. Love Dennis Smith Jr. We're not bringing him in to be an offensive engine. We're bringing him in to do defense, and he does that really well. When he was in Brooklyn, when he was in Charlotte, he was receiving all defensive team votes. That's kind of incredible considering where he was as a rookie when the Dallas Mavericks drafted him. And the Mavs need a point of attack defender. And so if DSJ comes in and shows some stuff and shows that he is not a liability on offense, we'll see what happens. For being honest, he's probably not going to make the final roster. And like Mark Stein said, let's see if I have the tweet. Mark Stein said something. Yeah, here it is. Among Dallas's motivations for signing Smith, sources say, was securing his G League rights. So you know what? We're going to get to watch him in Frisco. And if he balls out, he gets a little contract and the Mavs bring him back up and they cut somebody else. Whatever that might look like. Some people have also thrown out cutting Dwight Powell. I don't think the Mavs are going to do that. He's the only long-term player on this team right now. I just don't think it's going to happen. But look, you kind of look at what's at the training camp, and at this point, you know the top guys, and then there's all these guys at the bottom, right? Ryan Nembhard and Miles Kelly are your two-way guys. Everybody said, why don't we just cut Miles Kelly? Well, Dennis Smith Jr. is not eligible for a two-way contract, so that wouldn't make any sense. Matthew Cleveland and Moussa Cisse, people were like, why don't we just cut them? Because they're also on Exhibit 10 contracts, so they don't really count as full-time players. So that's not it. And then there was a report that the Mavs signed Demoy Hodge and Jamarion Sharp. So the Jamarion Sharp thing was like last week, and then Demoy Hodge was just last night. And the Hodge thing is actually confirmed. Like this was at the Mavs PR. They announced it. The Jamarion Sharp thing was announced by Mike Scotto, I think, of Hoops Hype. And if I'm not mistaken, the Mavs cannot sign both Hodge and Sharp. They would have too many players on their training camp roster. So we'll see what happens with Sharp. Maybe they already signed him and cut him. I don't really know, just to secure his G League rights. I'm not sure. Maybe they just do that with Hodge. I think that would make more sense. I don't know how Hodge is going to get any time in the preseason. I mean, he was a two-way player with the Lakers. He showed some stuff in G League. He came out of Mizzou. But with the guard battle that's already going to be going on in preseason, I don't know how Demoy Hodge is going to get any time to really play. It just doesn't make sense. So I wouldn't expect him to stick around. I wouldn't expect him to even finish out preseason with the Mavs. He'll probably just get cut and go play for the Legends next year. Him and Dennis Smith Jr., I guess, will be competing for time on the Legends, which is kind of sad and weird in different ways. But that's your training camp. And then we kind of transition now into the news we received today from Mark Stein. Mavericks all-star big man, and yes, he is an all-star, despite what a lot of you guys want to say and dump on him and trash him. Mavericks all-star big man Anthony Davis returned to the practice floor this week for some 5-on-5 play. It's believed to be AD's first game speed action since it emerged in July that he needed eye surgery to mend a detached retina. By the way, people forget that detached retina happened against the Atlanta Hawks. Remember, he went back to the locker room, I don't know what they did. They didn't patch. You can't patch up an eye to cover an eye, but the detached retina happened against the Hawks. He goes out and has a monster game against the Hawks and hits a freaking game winner. So it's still so weird to me that he even had to have surgery after all that, but he did. It got repaired. He's back on the floor. He's playing 5-on-5. Now, this does say it's believed to be the first game speed action, so he's probably been playing basketball. It's not like this is the first time he's played basketball all summer, but it's the first time he's played real 5-on-5 basketball since that surgery. It is obviously, and shout out to Mavericks Digest, I see him in the chat, it is obviously a reason for concern. I kind of dismissed it a little bit, but there's obviously a little bit of reason for concern because it's Anthony Davis. But I've been saying the whole time that I am not truly concerned about this Anthony Davis eye thing. He's going to be ready for training camp, clearly. He's going to be ready for preseason, clearly. And he's going to be ready for the regular season, clearly. Mark Stein said one thing. He said on the DLLS Sports podcast or Mavs podcast, whatever, he said something along the lines of one of my big questions is what Anthony Davis's availability looks like to start the year. And everyone took that and said, oh my goodness, Anthony Davis is going to be questionable on opening night. Guys, I don't know if there has ever been in the history of the league a time where a player has been deemed questionable 35 days before the regular season even starts. So people that were taking that and running with that and saying, report, Anthony Davis is questionable for opening night. It's just, that's not what was happening. Okay. It was not what was happening. It was just Mark Stein talking about questions that he had for the season. And it's a valid question. Anything regarding Anthony Davis's health is a valid question going into the next season. I am of the belief that Anthony Davis will be healthy a lot next year. My goal for him is just to hit 65 games. Just hit the 65 game threshold. If you're below that, you're going to lose a lot of trust with fans. If you're above that, great. You do amazing. 65 games is perfect for AD. That's what I expect. That's what I would like to see. Everyone obviously would like to see 82 games, but if we're being honest with ourselves, 65 games would be a very good season from Anthony Davis. And something that the Locked On guys talk about a lot is that Anthony Davis's injury history is not like chronic, repetitive repeating of the same injuries. It's not like his knees are cooked or his feet are cooked or his ankles are cooked or he's got bad shoulders. He's just got a lot of weird bumps and bruises all over his body, and it stinks. His injury report is 60 injuries long, and that is insane. But they're all different things. And that is if you want to look on the bright side of injuries, that is a bright side of Anthony Davis's injuries, is that it's not the same thing over and over again. So you're not worried about him wearing down. You're just worried about where he's getting hit, I guess, which is still concerning. I get it, but I'm just trying to take some of the pressure off and get people to just slow down a little bit on the AD street clothes stuff. He was an all-star last year. He started out the year, I'll never forget it, and I keep bringing it up, and people want to clown me for it, but at one point, Anthony Davis was like at the top of the MVP ladder on NBA.com. I know that doesn't really mean much. Like, what does that really mean? Not a lot, but it means at least going into December, he was high up in a lot of people's eyes of just how good he was. For good reason. He's a great player. He is one of the best two-way players in the NBA. So everyone can chill out a little bit. We're going to have a lot of fun watching Anthony Davis next year. I think he's going to be healthy for a good amount of time next year, and we're going to have a lot of fun cheering him on. Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. I'm not ignoring your chats. Mythful Nation, shout out to Mason. Fadeaway Seth, I see you. Frank, Tracy, Mavs Digest, and then Sham Sharania apparently in the chat. Don't believe you, but whoever you are, thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the All Things Mavs channel. If you haven't subscribed already to my All Things NBA channel, please do that. I think I have a grand total of 18 subscribers on there. But me and my buddy Austin Payne, who runs All Things Oklahoma City Thunder, we're putting out just generic NBA videos. Still a lot of Mavs and Thunder focused stuff on there, but it's a good time, and we're kind of growing a little bit. So appreciate everybody that's tuning in and tuning into this live. Listen, it's a Saturday night. You're probably thinking, Jimmy, why aren't you watching college football? Why aren't you doing, why aren't you out on the town? My wife is out of town. And you're probably like, great, your wife's out of town. Go do something fun. I have 2 babies, and they're both asleep in the house, and I'm not paying for a babysitter. So I'm talking about the Mavericks, and that's what I love to do. So we'll do a little Q&A here. We'll go through some questions, and Frank threw it out there. How much playing time per game do you think AD will average this season? I guess that's a good question. If you guys have questions, throw them in the chat. I'm going to get to all of them. I know there's only, 5 of you guys tuned in, but hit me up in the chat with as many questions as you want. We'll start going through some things. So AD last year with the Mavericks averaged 29.6 minutes per game. His usage rate was like historically high in those 9 games for him, not historically high across the NBA, but very, very high usage rate. I think keeping him below that 30-minute threshold would be amazing. And I think Dallas has the personnel to do it, if we're being honest. Like, we're going to get PJ Washington at the 4. We're going to get Cooper Flagg at the 4. We're going to get Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively at the center position, which with Anthony Davis, even though I know you don't want to play center all the time, AD, you're going to have to play some center minutes. And luckily, he's not going to have to play the whole game at center. And so he has Derek Lively. God, I keep saying Anthony Davis. Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford to take up a chunk of those center minutes, most of the center minutes, I would suspect. And I think that's one of the reasons that we could realistically keep him below 30 minutes next season. It would be so big, especially if he's going to play like 65 to 70 games. It would seriously make a huge difference in how long he's able to play next season. I obviously worry about Anthony Davis's durability until Kyrie gets back, because he's going to have to carry a pretty heavy load. I mean, we saw it with the opposite when Kyrie had to carry the load when AD went down with his adductor strain. And then Kyrie, I know tearing your ACL isn't like due to overuse, but like he had to go 110% every single time. So if AD can just keep the minutes down just a little bit, it's going to be such a game changer. I had some other people asking me just like, and again, I kind of addressed it in the beginning, like if I had to rank who I want cut in the preseason or like cut by the end of preseason, I think it's pretty easy. Like you cut Moussa Cisse, you cut Matthew Cleveland, you cut Jamarion Sharp, you cut Demoy Hodge, and then you get to the DSJs, Dante Exums, Brandon Williams, and Jaden Hardy's. I said it earlier, if you weren't here or tuned in, cutting Jaden Hardy is just too difficult with the cap. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's really hard to do. I'd rather, my dream scenario would be we trade Jaden Hardy and we just keep Dennis Smith Jr. on a vet minimum deal. That would be amazing. It would be such a nostalgic win for Mavs fans. I'm not like done with Dante Exum, but there is a little piece of me that's like, is Dante Exum going to do a lot for this team next year? Like there's a chance I think he plays every single night. And then there's a chance that I see him not play most nights. I put a poll out on YouTube. You guys are voting on it right now. Who gets cut from the roster by opening night? And 60% of you said Jaden Hardy. Again, I want Jaden Hardy. Like, I want Dennis Smith Jr. in over Jaden Hardy, but it just doesn't make sense cap wise. You can't cut him. You have to trade him if you really want to keep Dennis Smith Jr. That is. Frank says, does Caleb Martin have any value? Would anyone be interested in him? Mason, my guy, MFL Nation, if you're still in here, he is a huge believer in Caleb Martin. I am a huge believer in Caleb Martin's defense. I am not a huge believer in Caleb Martin's offense. That hitch in his shot was so disgustingly bad last year that I just can't shake it. And there's just a piece of me that doesn't really see him getting back to a super positive offensive player. Now, he's only 29. It's not like he's 35 years old. But, man, I mean, if he can just get back, I mean, these three-point numbers are really good. Besides this 1 year in Charlotte, like, he hasn't had a terrible offensive, like, three-point year. And so that is even more of the reason why I'm like, why did he shoot? Like, what was that hitch in his shot? Why was he at 25% last year? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So does he have value? I don't think so. I think he's actually probably at his lowest value possible right now. I just can't see a scenario in which some team is willing to give up anything for him. And I also think there's a piece of like Nico Harrison that wants to see him succeed. And so with all that, it would be really hard for me to see Caleb Martin getting moved in the preseason. Like, I think they want to see him play it out. I actually want to see him get a shot next year. Like, I would love to see him at least get a chance to show his worth. And you know what? There is a chance that he shows that he's such a great defender that the Mavs have to play him. Like, I talked about this on TikTok. I put a video up on TikTok talking about, you know, if he can be more than like, if as long as he's not a liability on offense, then I think we're still going to get some really positive minutes out of Caleb Martin. How positive? I don't know, but I don't think he's like a lost cause. I don't think it's like all bad with Caleb Martin, but I am definitely not high on him. He's going to have to show a lot to me before I buy back into Caleb Martin, in all honesty. And, you know, the crazy thing too is like, I was pretty okay with the Quentin Grimes trade. Like, I wasn't happy that we traded Quentin Grimes, but like, I was fine getting Caleb Martin back. Like, I thought Caleb Martin was going to be – in fact, I threw out gosh, can I find this? Let me see if I can find this old tweet that I had. It's a little different. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to look it up because there was a tweet I sent out before the trade deadline. And I was like, you know what? I could see this trade actually happening for Caleb Martin. Now, this was before the Luka trade, so – things were a lot different. This was also before I knew he had some hip injury that was just made no sense to me. Man, I did not realize I tweeted this much about Caleb Martin. Okay, come on. We're going to find it. We're going to find it. We're close. Look at that mustache. Should I grow that mustache back out? Let me know in the chat. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Should I grow the mustache back out? My wife likes it. Should I do it? Let me know. All right, come on. Okay, I guess I can't find it. But I tweeted some trade idea to get Caleb Martin to the Mavs before the trade deadline, and I thought he would be a good piece. I still think he can be a good piece. I just think his offense is a big question mark. I think his defense can still be good. I think he will probably be the best point of attack defender the Mavs have off the bench next year, and that's really important. The Mavs have to have a point of attack defender. They have not really found that point of attack defender since Derrick Jones Jr. left. But look, I even had him. Where you at? Yeah, I even had this. I had him on my list once upon a time. Man, what was this? Yeah, this was my trade wish list at the time. This was before we traded Luka Doncic, so you can take that for what it's worth. I can't find it. Whatever. All that being said, I didn't hate the trade of Caleb Martin when it happened because I thought he would be that good of a defender. Obviously, I didn't think Quentin Grimes was going to be scoring like 50 points a game for the Philadelphia 76ers. But here we are. Training camp is about to start. Quentin Grimes still does not have a contract. Like, he is still out there on the restricted free agency market. That's kind of crazy. And that tells me that, obviously, Nico Harrison, for all you want to say about him, and all anybody can say about him, Like, he knew a little something. He knew he was going to demand a lot of money in the open market, and the Mavs weren't going to be able to pay him. Like, the Mavs would not have been able to give PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford the contracts they did this offseason if they were also going to have to pay Quentin Grimes. And I love Quentin Grimes. I would have loved for him to stick around Dallas, but that is a hefty price to pay what he's asking right now. And now you kind of have contract control with Caleb Martin. There was something else I was going to say about Quentin Grimes, but I can't remember. But long story short, it's still kind of crazy that he doesn't have a deal. Like, is there any – what's the latest update on Quentin Grimes? Should we look it up? Quentin Grimes. What you got? What's our latest update on Twitter? Okay, a lot of positive stuff about how great he was. I don't need to see all that. I mean, 76ers Media Day is in 6 days, and Quentin Grimes still does not have a contract. That is crazy. Is he just going to accept the qualifying offer at this point? Like, I think he kind of has to, if we're being honest. Man. Quentin Grimes, how the mighty have fallen. Anyway, I think that's all my Mavs takes and talks for now. But I kind of want to go back to this hoop grids. I want to see if I can do... Actually, you know what? Let's do another jump shot guesser. Let's see if anybody else can help me out on this. This is how we'll end the stream, by the way. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to do this together. We can guess this jump shot together. Let's see if anybody can get it before me. That looks like... Who is that? I'm guessing... somebody like skinny. That little like kick of the legs. Who is that? Is it LaMelo? I know it's not LaMelo, but I'm guessing LaMelo. Okay, so he's on the Hornets. And he is a guard. But he's on a point guard. Or he's like a point guard and a shooting guard, I think is what the yellow means. All right. That's not Colin Sexton. That's not... Is it Dinwiddie? But do they count Dinwiddie, or is he on like the Mavericks on this? Let's see. Whoops. Okay, so it's a shooting. Is Seth Curry still on the Hornets? Did Seth Curry play on the Hornets last year? Yeah, it's Seth Curry. Pretty positive. Yeah, I'm too good at this. All right, let's do another one. This is fun. I don't care if you guys are bored. I like this. Who is that? This one's easy. One try. Maybe I watch too much basketball. All right, let's see. Oh, who? Is that Kyle Lowry? I'm guessing Kyle Lowry. No. What does a yellow on the 7 on their jersey number mean? Okay, he's in the Western Conference. Who is this? Oh, that shot looks so familiar. Somebody help me out in the chat. Who is that? All right, let's think of a Western Conference guard. Oh, this is going to drive me crazy. All right, I'm thinking of a Western Conference guard. Sexton's on the Hornets now. It's not him. Boston, Charlotte, Chicago, Cleveland, Dallas, Denver. Denver? Jamal Murray? No, that's not Jamal Murray's shot. No, that's Chris Paul. Is that Chris Paul? Oh! Okay, he's in the West, obviously. I still don't know what this means. That didn't help me at all. And it is a point guard. Who is that? It's not on the Clippers. What about the Lakers? Who on the Lakers shoots like Gabe Vincent? Man, I was on a roll too. Who is that? Oh, I'm dumb. I guess the same division. Who in the Southwest? Oh, Fred VanVleet. There it is. There he is. All right, I'm getting better at this. Let's go. Let's keep going. We'll go till we hit what 45 at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we're gonna cut it off. Wow, that's a tall guy. Is that Wemby? I'm guessing Wemby. No, but he is in the West, not the Southwest. No, Jaren Jackson Jr. is in the Southwest. Who is that? It's not Jokic, obviously. Too skinny to be Jokic. Oh, it's Chet. It's Chet for sure. Right? Oh, no, but I got the division right. Who else is in that division? The Northwest Division is all right. This isn't cheating. I'm just looking up who's in the Northwest Division. Denver, Minnesota. Oh, Minnesota. Portland and Utah. Is it? I don't think it's Julius Randle, but I'm just guessing Randle to see if he's on the Timberwolves. Okay, he's on the Timberwolves. Who is that? It's not Gobert because Gobert doesn't shoot. Somebody's got to help me out in the chat. I know there's only 5 of you guys watching right now, but somebody's got to help me out. Who is that plays on the Timberwolves? That's a power forward center? That's not Naz Reid. That guy's way too skinny to be Naz Reid. What in the world? Who is that? Am I dumb? Who am I forgetting on the Timberwolves? It can't be Gobert. Gobert doesn't have a jump shot. Hold on. I'm going to get it. What's his name? He guarded Luka in the Western Conference Finals. McDaniels. There it is. Man, that was a tough one. All right. Let's do one more. What do we say? Yep, there he is. I need another. I want one more like, oh, we got a dribble move. Oh. Is that Dinwiddie? Is that freaking Dinwiddie? Oh, no. Trae Young? No. It's the same division, you dodo. All right. Who else is in the East? It's not the Southeast Division. Is that Darius Garland? Let's try Darius Garland. Nope. Not that division either. Okay. All right. Now I got to guess the Atlantic Division, which is Toronto, Philly, New York, Brooklyn, Boston. Go back to our Kyle Lowry guess. Or Tyrese Maxey. Okay. In the Atlantic Division, number 0. Okay, that helps a lot. Who's another number 0 in the Atlantic Division? Not on the Sixers, the Celtics. Who's number 0 on the Celtics? I don't even know. Derek, no. Number 0 on the Nets? I wouldn't even know. Number 0 on the Raptors? I wouldn't know. Who is, I don't know, another number 0 on the Celtics? Oh, wait, 0 on the Celtics. I'm an idiot. I should have known this. Dang it. I could have gotten that one earlier. All right, one more. I'm addicted now. I got at least 5 of you watching. Nobody's in the comment. If you're in the chat, just say hi. Can somebody just say hi in the chat? I just want to know if people are actually watching or if you just have this on in the background. We're doing one more. Oh, Lord. What kind of shot is that? A little push shot. Oh. Who is that? He's got some hair. It's not Trae Young. I'm going to guess. I know it's not this person, but I just want to see if it's in this division. Okay, and he's on the Warriors. But it's not Steph, obviously. It's not Buddy Hield. Oh, it's Pods. Getting the team right really changes the game. Can't say I've ever watched. I don't watch a lot of Brandon Pajemski, but good to know. That's what a shot looks like. All right, I'm going to keep going. Sorry. Just because I can. That is a lanky dude. Who is that? That is a slow release. I don't think it's this guy, but I'm guessing. Just in case, I'm just going to throw it out there. No? Okay. Not even in the West, so I'm not really close. Again, don't think it's this guy either, but I'm throwing it out there. Okay. Wow, way off on this one. Okay, not in the Central Division, but they're in the Eastern Conference. Brandon Ingram? Okay, it's 2 divisions out, so it's not in the Central, not in the Atlantic. So maybe the Southeast, which is the Hornets again. Let's go. What does Brandon Miller shoot like? Okay, right division, wrong team. Who's on the Magic? Jonathan Isaac? I don't think it's him, but I'm going to try. Okay, well, he's on the Magic. All right, I got that right. Who shoots like that? Wendell Carter? Wait, what position are they? Okay, not a power forward. What kind of guard shoots like that? Or forward? Who am I forgetting on the Magic? Oh, Wagner? Oh, I should have seen it's an American player. Dang it. Who am I forgetting? Not a forward, not a power forward, not a small forward. Is it? It's not Paolo, is it? I don't know. No, because that's power forward. Don't do that. That's dumb. Anthony Black? Okay. All right, Anthony Black, you got to speed that shot up, my guy. All right, y'all. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate everybody that stuck around for nearly an hour. It was fun. I hope to do more live shows in the future, and hopefully they're a little more lively than this. Hopefully there's more going on. Obviously, we're in the dead of the off season, so I figured, you know what? We're going to try it out. Appreciate all you guys that have watched, that have subscribed, that are liking this video. Catch you next time.